the brunch. The first session in the afternoon will address those countries that we have named economic drivers of the blueberry industry: Peru, Mexico, and Morocco. We'll have 3 presentations and a discussion moderated by Isabel Quiroz, founder of Consulting. First presentation will be by the general manager of Anenberries in Mexico, Juan José Flores, followed by the general manager of Pro Arándanos from Peru, Mr. Luis Miguel Vegas. And now I will hand the floor to Mr. Juan José Flores. Remember Vicente Fernandez, who said that as long as you're applauding, I will be singing. Well, I will have only 10 minutes, and I will try to be accurate and go straight to the point. I hope this will be interesting. I'd like to thank the Jensen Group for being here in this beautiful country. I had the opportunity of being here in the past, but today what is important is to have a look at how blueberries are doing in Mexico. And we, Aneberries, we as an association, we also work with strawberries, raspberries, and we want to make these challenges also opportunities. We have the opportunity through IBO and the American Blueberry Council for a world to increase consumption. We have the perspective of increasing collaborations in the future and to be more complementary rather than competitors. These are the other 3 messages that I have for you, and I want to show you how the sector is doing currently. This year, berries have been on the news whenever governments address that issue, or the press. Berries have been doing better than avocado or beer, which are other products, export products. But this also brings about challenges regarding land, water, resources, labor, and logistics, everything that we have seen this morning. Even though this farming has increased by 15% in blueberries, we don't have more than 15%. The social impact is what Aneberries have taken as an example, that through this crop that generates wealth, we can also create jobs, well-paid jobs, formal jobs, much more formal than informal. We are an example in terms of formal jobs, and we together can take care of food safety, taking care of our workers because we need them to harvest. We don't use machinery in Mexico, for instance, and sustainability as well, labor and environmental. By doing that, we have now reached 38 destinations in the case of blueberries, exporting more or less 80,000 tons, and 96% of that was exported. The rest is national consumption that has been growing under a campaign that we are carrying out called Mexican Berries, and really conveying the message of nutrition and trying to boost that. I have included these 3 flags because Japan is very important. 1 million tons of blueberries go to Japan with very high standards of quality and size. When we saw the Rabobank graph in terms of quality, I was a bit concerned. And I thought about how we can all think about offer blueberries that consumers really want and that they won't throw away. We are developing our national market. Like I said, what is interesting for you here is the concentration of blueberries is in the center west part of the country in Jalisco. We are very much globalized nowadays. We all understand where Mexico is in Central America, and the blueberry is basically in Jalisco, Michoacan, Colima, and also it has been showing some increase in Sinaloa, in the southern part of Sinaloa, as well as the north, and a little piece of land that in Baja California. And we believe that they will concentrate in these areas. I mean, blueberry production. You can also see here protected surfaces, organic areas, new varieties, and the substrate. Most of the blueberry is being grown with substrate, not in direct soil. So this is a sustainable substrate. The surface is 80% protected through macro tunnels, and organic area is only 12% of the production. Conventional 10,000 hectares, organic 12%, around 1,400 hectares under a structure, and open sky, and also under shadow we have 23% of the hectares. Substratum 80%, and direct soil we only have a little left. And these are mostly in Michoacan. So accountability is very important for us to generate more, almost 92,000 jobs, formal jobs, makes it much more attractive. Also, 50% of women are, our workforce is now composed of almost 50% women harvesting blueberry. 90% of that is harvested manually, so it is very important to not really apply pressure on the fruit and lose the bloom. So women are very important in that task. Here, some info about 2017, the projections up to 2024. We can see how we closed 2022 with almost 80,000 tons exported, 73,900, and we are now forecasting for 22-23 is not more than 90,000. It could go up to 95,000 maybe tons. Climate is always an issue, and projections up to 2024 is 104,000 tons. Very similar to the volume you export. The peak of Mexican blueberry trade after the share and the participation of Peru, Chile, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, all states, Washington, Oregon, California, that are also producers. The peak is always is in April, and it is becoming increasingly concentrated. The Biloxi peak in Michoacan and in Jalisco has lost competitiveness due to the volumes that come from other sources, even though the proximity to the United States we have, that we're able to pack the fruit today and reach the United States in 1 day and Canada in 5 days by land. Even though we have fresh and crusty blueberry, the countries now have a wider and broader offer and consumers have also a broader offer. So competitiveness is becoming more important. So we must work together because it is will be better for everyone. So this is the projections that we have until 2023.
You already spoke about the genetic topics and how reconversation is occurring, and I have a few tips. Noxis is representing 23% only. And this green chart you can see we have new varieties for the biloxi, sorry, and we have the protected variety from Mexico that you saw in the previous presentation where they are originated. The fruit, also the origin of this species was showed, and the Planasa has a very good, successful plan in place and very good, working very good in Mexico. And Font Creek also that are part of these berries, and they are trying to find plants that are producing more. They are pest resistant and disease resistant, and to have more volume, better flavor, better consistency for the traveling. And you see biloxi that is going to disappear, and the other varieties, including legacy. These 3% together with other varieties in the next 3 seasons will be reduced down to zero. And we have major challenges as we need plastic of different kind in order to produce the macro tunnel for buffering, and this also has many problems of recycling, and the challenge include what the government says that we are changing the microclimate, and I would say that we are not using the water in an efficient manner, but we rather need to use an accurate kind of irrigation. And I would like to stop here because we don't need to go and try to contact the experts in irrigation in order to use water efficiently or in an effective manner, but we rather need to work in the recovery of the underground water, the zones where the water is produced, the rainfall forests, and so on, and only not focused on plastic, but the reservoirs of water, and the nobody wants to neglect the opportunity to tap those square meters. And in order to be competitive today, we need to be the best producers in terms of volume, of qualities, as well as in terms of the care of these three components, that is to say, the food safety, the environmental issues, and obviously the phytosanitary issues. And the genetics is being very instrumental in this regard, and we are working with people, with companies and nurseries that know about berries, and they are betting to be more effective in terms of pest control, to have the integrated pest management system, and we don't see any alternatives today from these components of management that does not require a good genetics, a new software allowing to predict and determine how the humidity for the irrigation is, the pH level, and so many other elements, including the electric conductivity, and how this impinges on the nutrition and the being prone to pests. And in terms of these big equipment, it's very difficult to use them. In Sinaloa, you see that there are some areas of up to 200 hectares together, but not in the center. And in order to do the retrofitting of these machinery that is used in California, Arizona, and so on. And then we have the issue of sorting. Now people know that they have to take care of the blooms, and these pieces of equipment allow them to be better quality. And if you evaluated the 800 tons that are taken from different places, and they would total 90% in the manual system or harvest. We're strongly dependent on the labor availability, and this is stopping us. I was speaking about the identity of the blueberry around the world. It will be very difficult to have the same quality of charro from Mexico, but at least we will convey the message to the consumer that the Mexican blueberry has this quality because of the genetic, the good fertilization, the pest control, and because we are making progress in terms of food safety. And we also take care that there is no child labor, forced labor, and we include the gender equality, and we are providing more training to the people who are working in the field. We already have a scarcity of labor, and we have to migrate from the south of Mexico that are the least favored states in Mexico. And we are now evaluating the possibility to work with people, with migrant people, and those who have the refugee status. And you have to take care of that. And the good care that is given to the people who are working in the agricultural and livestock activities. And maybe we have to consider the United States and Canada. I don't know which is the situation in Chile if the people under 16 years are allowed to work, because this is labeled as child labor. And as you know, the Argentina and elsewhere, these persons of 16 years of age are not children anymore, but cannot be inserted in the field activities. And we don't have an official Mexican standard for this. So these children who are entitled to earn money from the blueberries do not have this opportunity because there are some regulation restrictions from the government, and because of the influence of the ILO. I don't have anything against the ILO. It's good that we do not endanger the young people, but they cannot be put as illusion for this, as a fodder for these kind of discussions, and therefore this is the panorama that we observe now in Mexico. Well, I would like to thank you once again, and I would like to thank you all who were kind enough to listen to me for these few minutes, and I hope you didn't get bored. Well, you are invited to Mexico if you want to get acquainted with this producing areas. We are investing a lot in Chile is investing a lot in this industry of blueberry, and this is allowing also further progress in Mexico. I will give the floor now to the next speaker.